So not only have this government been content with giving themselves powers to isolate you in your own home, to stop you attending funerals of loved ones or weddings of loved ones, and severing any connection or communication between yourself and any grandparents or older relatives who happen to have been in nursing homes, unfortunately enough, in the last few years. They also want to stop you being able to communicate in a manner of your choosing. They want you to stop or to not be able to protest or to voice your discontent with the aims and objectives and the policies of this government. They also want to put you in jail for things you might say that they don't like, or what things you might say that someone else doesn't like. Not only that, they also want to continue plundering your wages and spending billions on people who aren't even in this country yet. They will take that all from you. They want to tax any inheritance you might give or any inheritance you might receive. They want to steal your family's legacy. They want to steal your family's future. They want to steal your family's intergenerational wealth. And then I expect you to smile and nod and thank them when they offer you an extra €1,000 tax free in your wages per year, right? Just around election time. But on top of all of that, and on top of the nonsense and the filth that they want to teach your kids in school, under the guise of offering them education and free books that you won't have to pay for, which means they'll be school property, which means the children won't be able to bring them home from school, which means you won't be able to review or observe what's going on in the school or what these corrupted minds are pumping into your child's minds. Not only that, as if that wasn't enough, you also have this lunacy. So this is from the Irish Independent today, and the headline is Councils could stop cars and raid houses under plans for fresh crackdown on smoky fuel sales. And then it says under here, which is interesting, the subheading under the picture, right, or the heading under the picture. Quote, up to 1,600 premature deaths in Ireland annually are linked to polluted air. Now, it's interesting that you have going on at the same time the case or the inquest of the young fella, and I don't have his name off the top of my head, but who apparently died following an injection that he got, right? And the media are very, very quick to speak of correlation doesn't mean causation, and there's no overt proof of this, right? This kind of nonsense. But here they're perfectly happy to say that 1,600 premature deaths in Ireland are linked to polluted air. Anything can be linked. Okay? Like, I'm linked to a person in Belfast that I've never met. So you could write any story you want and say, this fella's linked to this person up here. Of course I am. Now, how tenuous or how strong that link is, that's the real discussion. Okay? That's the real discussion. So the link here might be simply that they've measured the pollutants in the air, and they've also found that people in Ireland who live with that air die. Therefore, there's a link. Okay? So it sounds intelligent. It sounds like there's been deep investigative stuff done here, but there's really, really not, right? And if college is good for anything, it gives you the ability to look at these things and to understand the words that are being used, right? You don't need college for that, but that's probably the only useful thing you might pick up in college, of how to close read, they call it, right? So how to look at the words being used and to really pick them apart and see what they actually do say or what they don't say, right? But anyway, this behind, I'm not subscribed to the Irish Independent, nor will I, but they get enough money, right? They get funded essentially through your own taxes because they're nearly tax exempt at this stage, right? But we have, quote, Councils would have search and seize powers to clamp down on the sale and distribution of smoky fuels under proposed tough new air pollution laws. And you can see in the paragraph underneath it that fades away. It says, quote, they could stop and detain vehicles. So councils, who are they meaning by councils? They could stop and detain vehicles, confiscate and destroy unapproved fuels, and in some circumstances, raid private dwellings. Not just enter them and ask some questions, raid private dwellings. Right? So, number one, who's they? Number two, what is an unapproved fuel and who's making that decision? Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, look, chances are you're reading this as the nonsense that I'm reading it as. But I will say it simply. So underneath all of the linking and the pollution and all that stupid language, right? What this essentially is one group of people who are deciding that another group of people are not allowed to pick up earth and to set fire to earth. They're not allowed to warm themselves with nature-given earth, God-given earth, if you will. You're not allowed to do that anymore. And if you have some muck or some clumps of earth in your house and you happen to set a light to them in your own private fireplace, well, then these people have declared themselves powerful enough to be able to raid your home. Have you had enough yet?